Welcome to Cloudcast, where you get an inside look at St. Cloud, Florida's local government. Whether you live, work, or play here, we're bringing you the information you need to better understand your city. Cloudcast is hosted by our communications team, including Miriam Batchelder, Andrew Sullivan, Deborah Carson, and Jay B. Miller. Thanks for listening in to Cloudcast.
Hello, St. Cloud, and welcome back to Cloudcast. I'm Mary Emma with the city's communications team. I have with us today as our special guest, Everett Coll from our Code Compliance office. Everett, welcome, and tell us a little bit about yourself. You're new to the city.
Yes, I am. Thank you for the introduction. I am pleased to be here and looking forward to serving this beautiful community that I've been welcomed into. And, Code Compliance is... I hold it very close to my heart. I've been doing it for quite some time in a few other jurisdictions, and I've been brought up here for a good reason to help and guide our code officers that are doing a fabulous job already. I am tasked with implementing a new standard operating procedure, a new way of doing things because they're coming from a different department and have different ways of doing things. So I'm trying to coach them and teach them how to be more customer service oriented, be more friendlier with our community, our residents, educating them and guiding them, and voluntary compliance is our main goal. We're not looking to fine anybody or take anybody's money. That is not our goal, our objective here.
So when we talk about code compliance, I think historically a lot of times in many jurisdictions, including our own, this has been called code enforcement. Mm-hmm. It's now been renamed as code compliance. Tell us a little bit about what the job of our code compliance officers is.
Day-to-day for our code compliance officers, I guess we first changed the name to be a more friendlier outlook with the community, to change the perspective and improve our public relations with them, because we're here to help. We really are.
So you're not the gotcha people?
No, we're more of educating the public in regards to the code violation that we're taking care of at the moment, or educating the public in regards to that, and trying to teach them what's right and wrong, because we don't all know what's right and wrong, and that's our job, is to guide you, help you, and we just really want to make a positive impact with our community and improve our public relations.
When you find code violations, what are some of the most typical ones that you see here in the city? I
would say our officers come across a lot of abandoned vehicles. There's a lot of different definitions that fall under abandoned vehicles. No tag, expired tag, wrecked, inoperable would be some of the definitions that would fall under that criteria.
So these would be vehicles parked at someone's house in that state, I guess? Okay.
Correct, yeah. If they don't have a valid license plate or expired license plate, that would fall under inoperable.
Okay. What other are some common ones that you see?
Overgrown lawn, weeds, accumulation of sightliness for the property. And we really are trying to integrate in our officers to be more friendly and approach the citizens and make contact and educate them and have a public relations with them, because it's not about just sending out a letter of you're doing something wrong, you need to correct this. And that's not the approach that we want to continue to take. We want to make a more positive impact and gain voluntary compliance.
So, Everett, you mentioned that when you came in as supervisor for this department, you're tasked with kind of changing the way that we operate and being more community friendly and focusing more on education and instead of enforcement, for lack of a better term. When your officers see a violation, let's just use an overgrown lot, for example, mm-hmm. and, I'm not talking about 4-inch high grass, maybe it's a foot high, it hasn't been mowed in 3 months. So what is it you're looking for them to do in that kind of a situation today?
What I expect from them to do is make contact with the property owner, see what's going on, see if have empathy with them, and see how much time they would need to comply with cutting their grass. Because sometimes everything that we're going to ask property owners to do is going to cause a financial hardship. So we must have that understanding that it's not just do this because the code is this and you have to do that. It's more of being friendlier and linear and understanding that we need time to comply. They need time to comply. It's not about just bringing them to hearing, getting the property fined, posting a lien on the property. That's not our goal. That's not what we want. We want our residents to feel comfortable reaching out to us if they do, for some reason, receive a courtesy notice or in regards to a deficiency on the property that can be corrected immediately. To reach out to us, feel comfortable reaching out to us. We're here to help you. We're not here to judge you, or we're not here to belittle you. We're here to educate you, guide you, and help you.
And I know you and I have talked in the past about it's much easier for you to work with a property owner if they'll communicate with you. And sometimes you'll send a courtesy notice or you'll try to talk to the property owner and they want nothing to do with it. They won't. So your messaging now to your team and to the community is if you'll talk to us and work with us, we're willing to work with you, correct?
100%. We're all about working with you. We want to make a positive impact. We want to improve our relationship with you.
Everett, let's go up to 30,000 foot and talk from that view perspective for a minute. Why does code enforcement matter? Why do we have city codes? Why does it matter if somebody's yard is overgrown or their car has no license tag or an expired tag?
That's a very great question. I appreciate you asking that. Code compliance is important because, one, we improve our property values. We improve the way we live. We improve the health and safety and welfare of our community. Our main goal here is also to decrease the blight, which blight can increase criminal activity. So this is like a preventative stage before we allow properties to diminish in property values, which increase criminal activity, which increases crime. And our main goal is to keep our community safe, healthy, and the welfare of our community should be at a certain standard that I see improving every day, especially with the staff that we have here, our upper management, our city council, our mayor. Everybody is doing their due diligence and trying to improve.
And St. Cloud is a unique town, and it's a beautiful town. When I first came here several years ago, I just fell in love with, the lakefront and the downtown area. We've got a lot of newer communities that are absolutely beautiful, but we've also got a lot of historical communities that are beautiful, and some of these older homes are just architecturally just fascinating to look at, and it's nice to see them being restored and upkept, and I think a lot of times, too, when our codes are followed, the rising tide raises all ships, so to speak. When the codes are followed, it helps build everyone's property values and helps make everyone's neighborhoods more desirable to live in, correct?
Absolutely, and safer as well for the next generation and the one to follow. We want to keep the St. Cloud as beautiful as it is and keep improving. And we've annexed a lot of areas and communities for our city, which has grown. Our population is about 70,000 right now. We only have 4 code officers that we're more reactive than proactive at the moment. My goal in the future would be to change that, but one step at a time.
Absolutely. Now, you mentioned reactive, which means essentially you're responding when you get complaints in. How does a person, if they want to submit a complaint about a code issue, how would they go about doing that here?
Yes, you could come in person, submit your complaint. You could call us, or you could email us.
So if I'm worried my neighbor will be mad that I called him in, I can be anonymous? I don't think I can, right?
No, Mariama. Unfortunately,
I'm not narking my neighbors out, by the way.
I wouldn't.
My neighbors are great anyway.
I wouldn't consider that as narking. However, we would like for the residents to be informed that there is no such thing as an anonymous complaint anymore. There was a House bill that passed, and to submit a complaint, we would need your name, phone number, and address to be able to follow up with that complaint. Now, by law, we would have to provide that information if requested. Now, we're not going to go out and divulge that information. We're just going to respond. However, we have to provide that information if requested by the,
And that's truly why I asked the question kind of tongue-in-cheek, is because by state law, these cannot be anonymous complaints or reports, and it is public record if someone were to ask for that information.
Unless it's life safety, and life safety would be under for the officer to determine at their discretion. If they consider something to be life safety, we can keep that record anonymous.
Great.
That complaint anonymous.
So to recap, they can come in person, they can call, or they can email to submit a code enforcement.
Yes, email code.enforcement at St. Cloud, Florida, fl.gov.
Great. Okay. Awesome. Well,
I have a question.
Okay, Jay's ringing in. Hi,
Yep.
Jay.
Well, I mean, I've been sitting here listening to Everett, and the thing is, I think it's great because what he's presenting is a kinder, gentler code compliance
yes.
department.
Yes.
Is what we're aiming for. And the thing is, I have worked closely with code enforcement. Pretty much, I've probably seen every one of their meetings for the last 20 years. So I feel like I'm a little bit in touch with the issues, and we see what's going on out there. And everybody's got a wide, different reason why they, are maybe have their compliance. And my question is, though, okay, so it rains a lot in the summer. Okay, the grass grows phenomenally. Like sometimes I feel like I cut the grass and I go out the next day,
and it already needs mowing again.
Yeah, it needs to be
doesn't
like it doesn't even look like I did it.
Yeah.
And so, do you guys give in the summer months a little bit more leeway towards the high? Because I know it's like 8 inches is
correct.
And so, if it's a little bit higher than 8 inches, because say the guy mowed his lawn, but he can't get back to it until the next Saturday, and it's over 8 inches.
Right. That's important to keep in mind that that's the trajectory that we're going to be more lenient, but still with the understanding that overgrown grass can cause vermin and a lot of unsightliness for the property and their neighbors. However, we're not out there with a ruler measuring to see if it's over 8 inches by 1 inch. Obviously, for us to act upon something like that, it must be egregious.
Yeah, I've seen some of the ones that come before the code magistrate. So
they're definitely more than 1 week, I'm sure, even in rainy season.
What gets me though is that the court costs, the fine for that, they could have just paid to get it done, $25, $50, but to come in front of the...
Or not even like that, just reach out to us, tell us you need more time. We will grant you an extension.
Yeah, right.
And this goes back again to that you were talking about earlier. Just communicate with your officers, and we'll work with them as best we can on that. Now, I know that the communications office has created for you some forms and some thank you cards. Talk a little bit about that. I call it the softer side of code compliance, and just talk about how that ties in with what you're trying to establish in the department.
So with the approval of my higher-ups, we've all got together and brainstorm an idea on how to improve and be more customer friendly. So we would begin with a new standard operating procedure on how to respond to complaints or begin once we're proactive initiating. It would all stem from making contact, giving a verbal written observation form in regards to the deficiency that we may see, providing them a reasonable amount of time to comply and correct the violation. And as always, providing our information for them to reach out to us so we can form a relationship. We could talk. Let's see what we can do to help you gain voluntary compliance is what we want and what we are striving for here in this division of code compliance under community development.
Great. Well, Everett, thanks so much for being here today and joining us on Cloudcast. And listeners, thank you for listening in. We'll see you next time on Cloudcast.
That's it for this edition of Cloudcast. Don't forget to like, follow, rate, and review, and we'll see you next time on Cloudcast.